Despite the rumors of his divorce from his wife, Jamie Dornan is still happily taking Dakota out. News of Jamie Dornan and Amelia Warner's divorce was all over the news. Once one of Hollywood's most private and enduring couples, the split sent shockwaves through the media. No one knew what had really happened, only that Jamie had suddenly moved out of the West Hollywood mansion where he had lived with his wife and 3 daughters for more than a decade. While the speculation was still hot, the paparazzi caught another, even more shocking image: Jamie Dornan, in the midst of the divorce storm, walking hand in hand with Dakota Johnson out of a small cafe in Venice Beach. They were both smiling, genuine smiles, and so headlines like 50 Shades Comeback, and Dakota, the third person, began to pop up like mushrooms after the rain. But few knew, things weren't as simple as the sensational headlines. The midnight call. 3 weeks before everything fell apart, Jamie called Dakota at 2 a.m. "Are you okay?" she asked when he sounded tired on the other end. "Not sure. I'm in a hotel, alone. I don't know who else to call but you." Dakota was silent. They had developed a special relationship after the 50 Shades days, not quite love, but never just friends. She knew, in a strange way, that Jamie would always come to her when he needed a safe place to breathe. "I'll be there," she said simply. The cream Jeep. The next day, they were seen driving along the Malibu coast in a cream Jeep Wrangler. Dakota had her hair tied up, and was wearing a hoodie and jean shorts. Jamie wore sunglasses, his face impassive, as if the world weren't spinning with the rumors surrounding him. "What are we doing?" Dakota asked as they pulled up to a gas station. "Run away," Jamie said, squinting at the sun. "At least from my life." Dakota laughed, but she wasn't relieved. Escape day. They spent the day driving, stopping at obscure places: a used vinyl store, a Mexican diner where the owner didn't recognize them, a deserted beach where Jamie burned divorce papers printed out from his lawyer's email. "I don't want this," he said, looking at the burning papers. "I'm just tired of being right." Dakota said nothing. She knew what it felt like to live up to the public image. The real Anastasia Steele wasn't allowed to be rebellious, wasn't allowed to be sad. The hotel on the hill. That night, they rented a small room in a boutique hotel atop the Topanga Hills. No paparazzi, no strong Wi-Fi, just the sound of crickets and the smell of wildflowers coming through the cracks in the window. Jamie stretched out on the bed, his arms behind his head. Dakota emerged from the bathroom, his wet hair falling over his shoulders. "You know," he whispered, "if things had been different, maybe." Dakota didn't let him finish. "Don't," she interrupted, then lay down next to him. "I don't want to be your, maybe." Unnamed wounds. Dakota woke up first the next morning. She looked at Jamie sleeping soundly, his face peaceful in the midst of the storm. She wanted to reach out and touch his cheek, but stopped. There was so much left unsaid between them. There was closeness, there was trust, but there were also invisible walls built from the past, from obligations, from things that couldn't be named. "We're just using each other to escape, right?" she whispered, not sure if she was asking him or herself. 3 peaceful days passed like a dream. Jamie and Dakota lived like 2 people who had temporarily forgotten the world, waking up early in the morning to walk around the woods, stopping for lunch at small roadside restaurants, lying down at night listening to music on the old Bluetooth speaker Dakota had brought from home. But peace in Hollywood rarely lasts long. On the 4th morning, Jamie stepped out of the hotel to buy coffee and saw it, a long lens like a sniper rifle, peeking out from behind the trees. His heart sank. As a former model, used to flashbulbs, Jamie felt different this time. He wasn't afraid for himself, he was afraid for Dakota. She had always been someone who avoided gossip, lived a private life despite being the daughter of two famous stars. When he returned to the room, she was sitting by the window, holding a cup of tea, staring into the distance. She knew. "We've been photographed," she said, not looking at him. Jamie nodded. "This time it won't be just a rumor. It'll be a headline. It'll be an eye analysis. What body language experts say about Dakota Jamie's shoulder-to-shoulder pose." She chuckled. Jamie moved closer, sitting down next to her. "We can disappear for a few more days. I have a friend in Big Sur. No one will find him." Dakota put down her cup. "Jamie, I'm not afraid of the press. I'm afraid of us. Things no one taught us." That afternoon, they got into the car and headed north, avoiding all the main roads. Jamie let Dakota drive, and he sat quietly in the passenger seat, his head pressed against the window, watching the people passing by. "The first day I met you, I thought, there's something dangerous about this girl," Jamie said, his voice as light as the wind. Dakota didn't turn around. "You were right. But I didn't know you were dangerous because you made people want to live for real." The car passed a small wooden bridge, the red sunset tinting the sky ahead. Dakota slowed, then stopped at the side of the road. She turned off the engine, looking straight ahead. "I loved you, Jamie. So much. But I never allowed myself to say it." He said nothing, not out of surprise, out of pain. "I know you love your wife. I've had what people call serious relationships. But you know, I've never felt the way I do with you, the way we understand each other with just a glance on set, the way you always look at me not as Anastasia, but as Dakota." Jamie reached up, gently touching her hand. "Dakota, I don't." She cut him off again. "I don't want to hear it, unless you're sure. Sure you're not just clinging to me because everything else is falling apart." He nodded slowly, heavily. "Honestly, Big Sur night." Jamie's friend, a quirky, reclusive writer, lent him a cabin overlooking the Big Sur cliffs. It was isolated, the phone signal was weak, but the sky was so clear you could almost touch the stars. That night, they sat on the roof, covered in thin blankets, red wine in hand. "I've imagined so many versions of my future," Dakota said. "Some with you in them." Jamie looked at her, longer than necessary. "Do you want to rewrite the future?" he asked. Dakota chuckled. "Are you going to erase everything you have, just for a week of running away?" "No, but I will, if you come with me."